Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about the top 5 books that every medical student should read. So let's jump into it. So book number 1, it's going to be no surprise if you've been following my blog or watching my previous videos, it's Deep Work by Newport. Medical school is extremely difficult. There's so much information, there's so much complicated information to develop networks. And in Newport's excellent book, Deep Work, he really gives you the blueprint of how to conduct your work so that you can master material in a quick amount of time, which is exactly what you need for medical school. And it's drastically improved my ability to learn, and I wish I had read it before I started medical school instead of after my second year, but nonetheless it has drastically helped my ability to focus down, incorporate deep work into my clerkship so I can really master the material and reinforce the learning I'm getting practically in the clinical environment. Book number 2 is Attending. It's an excellent book I read by a family medicine and palliative care physician based out of Rochester, New York, but attended Harvard Medical School. And I heard about it through the Curbsiders Internal Medicine podcast, which I highly recommend you check out if you're interested in medicine as well. But what I love about this book is it's about the practice of mindfulness and how it can be so beneficial in building resiliency and making yourself the best clinician you can be. And it's such a fascinating book, especially for anybody who's interested in medicine, because it incorporates kind of the best from neuroscience, sociology, psychology, and wisdom from ancient practices such as Zen Buddhism into his experience as a medical student at Harvard Medical School, kind of comparing his experiences seeing the masterful clinician just from the competent physicians. And I think it's such an important book to not only help you deal with transversing going through medical school, which can be very difficult, especially as it goes to third year clerkship, because you see so much suffering. It can be very overwhelming at times. And he terms dealing with this vicarious trauma or secondary trauma that you're living, seeing so many people suffer and die. And it's very difficult, but it's so rewarding when you can help patients. And I think this book is either toolkit to kind of survive the minefield that is medicine, because it's such a rewarding and privilege to practice medicine, but it can also be extremely difficult. And book number 3 is The Power of Now. It's a book I've read so many times. I absolutely love it. And it is a bit esoteric at parts, no doubt. But it's a very practical way to start to begin a mindfulness practice into your routine. However, the books are great. However, with mindfulness and something great from Attending, which is, remember, in book number 2, is find a community you can join. I've been going to the North Shore Zendo. It's a Zen community practice. I've been absolutely loving it. It's really deepened and transformed my practice, having that community support. As we found in the Harvard Men's study, the #1 predictor of longevity was social community support. And it was something I did when I was at Boston University, when my friends got me to go to Cambridge Zen Center, and it was so nurturing, rewarding, and it really deepened my practice. So find the Zen Center if you really want to incorporate mindfulness. I highly recommend you do. And book number 4 is When the Body Says No by Dr. Gabor Mate. And it's actually a book I found serendipitously at Vikas Sharma. If you watch my videos, wouldn't even know who he is. He had the book, showed it to me. I was like, wow, that's fascinating. I read the book. It's a bit dry at parts, but it's so fascinating looking at the connection between stress. And he defines stress more globally, and not just stressful situations or traffic, but understanding the inability to have clear boundaries or stand up for yourself pits you in these long-term chronic stresses that can predispose certain diseases. And he talks about how certain diseases such as ALS, for example, have certain personalities such as they're excessively nice, and not being able to set those boundaries and stand up for yourself leads them to be in much more stressful situations. And that's just a very interesting kind of correlate between looking and kind of really embracing that biopsychosocial model of disease. And lastly, book number 5 is The Checklist Manifesto by Dr. Atul Gawande. I recommend all his books, but it's a book I read my freshman year, first semester at Boston University. I saw it at the Harvard bookstore, and it was just something that totally caught my mind. I read that book and one day I was so inspired. And what I loved about the book, which I think is so important, which is the crux of why I created this YouTube channel, Saying About Athletics, is it's the power of small, tiny changes can have dramatic results. And that was his whole book, talking about this simple checklist and how he was inspired by engineers. And he says, you rarely hear about buildings that crash, but there's a lot of mishaps in surgery. And no matter what, there's always going to be a risk in medicine, especially when you're doing surgery, which is high intensity, highly skilled procedures. I'm not trying to bash on surgeons and say they should just be more like engineers, but he said, what are aspects that engineers do that allow them to succeed with such low complications rates? And he said it was this consistent ability of this checklist where it kept them honest. And it was remarkable, the research he talks about, and the importance of having this checklist and improving surgical outcomes. So I highly recommend you check out those top 5 books. And if you forgot, they're #1, Deep Work by Newport. #2, Attending. Number 3, the power of now. Number 4, when the body says no. And number 5, the checklist manifesto. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other great videos that you think are relevant or would be very interesting as a medical student or a physician, please let me know. I'm always looking for other great books, so I'm more than happy. Please let me know what you're thinking. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And now, get off YouTube and get reading.